Hello everyone, welcome back to The Homegrown Artist. So in thinking about what videos to make this week, I have had one topic that's been on my mind quite a lot, and it's been particularly relevant over these past couple of weeks. And I just feel like this is something that everyone needs to hear every now and then, because we get so caught up in what we see other people doing and how we see other people living their lives. I know especially lately, have felt like I am 10 steps behind where I think I should be and where everyone else seems to be. I spent a majority of my college years thinking that I was falling behind, thinking that I not was falling behind, was already behind, and that I would never catch up. And it was a thought that haunted me, so I would run myself into the ground trying to catch up to some arbitrary line of success, our arbitrary finish line that I made for myself and thought that everyone else had already crossed. And I know that this is not a feeling singular to myself. This is a very common feeling, and it ties very closely with imposter syndrome, and it can prevent you from doing things that you love. It can prevent you from doing things that are scary, but in a good way. It can destroy motivation and destroy passion. And I let it do that to me. I let this perceived notion of myself being so far behind in life. When this started was at 16, where I first really realized that I felt like I was falling behind my peers. I convinced myself I would never be as successful, I would never be as intelligent, I would never be as talented. I had already missed the boat because I didn't start guitar when I was 2, and I didn't start ballet when I was fresh out of the womb, and all of these things that I had interest in that I just avoided because I thought I'd already missed the boat. And in a way, and this for me is particularly related to gardening lately, because I feel like at the place in my life where I am right now, there's so much that I don't know. And the more that I learn that there's so much more that I don't know. And it is a very intimidating feeling if you let it be, and I have absolutely let it be. I have looked at the people my age and even, a decade or so older and thought, I will never be where you are. And convinced myself that no matter how much I read, how much I learned, how many conferences I went to, how many informational videos I watched, that I would never be at a place in my life where I would feel competent. And I would always be 10 steps behind, and I would always miss the deadline by one day, which I have so many times in my life. I have missed audition deadlines, I have missed application deadlines, I've missed so many things just by a day or by a couple of minutes. The reason that this has been churning in my mind is because I am in the process of applying for jobs. There are some applications that I have missed, and it's not because I didn't know about these. I looked at them online and saw the requirements and thought, okay, I can do that, and avoided doing one or two of the requirements, like writing a cover letter, because cover letters feel arbitrary and tedious, and I avoided doing that, and then looked at some jobs and said, well, they're not gonna hire me because I don't meet all of the preferred qualifications, not even the requirements, but the preferred qualifications. And surely they're not gonna hire me, so I just won't even apply. And so many times throughout my life, I have let that mindset prevent me from starting anything. And I have let myself build my own box of safety and of comfort and of knowing, okay, I can fit into this box safely, so I'm not gonna go anywhere outside of it. Because if I go outside of it, there is the chance that someone will not accept that. There is a chance that someone will not like the way I sing. Someone will not like the way I talk. Someone will not like the way I look. Someone will not like what I have to say. And that way of thinking has ruled my life for quite a few years. One of the first victories I had over that thought pattern was actually starting my YouTube channel. I had a discussion with my undergraduate voice teacher because there was a job opportunity there that I missed because I thought, they're not gonna hire me, they won't want me. She just reminded me that that is life. Missing deadlines, and through those missed deadlines and missed opportunities and through those things that you forget to do, whether it's gardening or applying for jobs or auditioning or anything, there is an opportunity to be better prepared the next time it happens, the next time it comes around. And she reminded me that that is how you have to go through life. When you have those things that you avoid doing, those things that you flub, the opportunities that you walk past, not even letting the door close in your face because you're too scared to even knock on it, you have to use those times as a way to prepare for the next opportunity, for the next door. There is a red wasp that is getting alarmingly close. Whatever goals you have set for yourself, whatever finish line you have placed for yourself at the end of whatever project, whatever journey you are on that seems to be getting farther and farther away the harder you run, you are not behind. It sounds like I'm speaking in a very roundabout, circular fashion, but that, all in all, is just the truth. The only thing you can get done in a day is what you are capable of doing, and that fluctuates from day to day. And that concept was something that was very difficult for me to grasp because I set this standard for myself far above what was realistic, to be honest. If I did not meet that standard every single day consistently, 110%, then I was a failure. And what happened was that unrealistic standard, so far high above my head in a way that was just mean to myself, I never met that standard. Consistently failed to meet that standard. And in doing so, raised that standard higher and higher and higher to try to get myself to be successful. That was how I lived and how I still live to some degree. And I'm trying to break that cyclical thinking that leads me into that rabbit hole of thinking that all of a sudden the curtain's going to get pulled back and everyone's going to see and the truth is going to be revealed that I am nothing but a person pretending to be what I'm not. That is the core of imposter syndrome, and that is how this all ties in, is because that imposter syndrome, that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of incompetency, and the, oh, well, I don't really know what I'm doing like everyone else does because they seem to have it together so much better than I do, that leads to that cycle of hesitation and caution and fear and convincing yourself that you are far behind where you should be. My master's degree, I felt so out of place. I felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb and that I did not belong and I was behind everyone else. And I remember having these thoughts of, why did they even let me in this program? They had to have let me in out of pity, which objectively, like, they don't do. They don't let people into college programs, especially performance programs, out of pity. Despite knowing that, in my head, it was hard to synthesize that knowledge with that very visceral feeling of wrongness and that very visceral feeling of being out of place and feeling like a liar, feeling like I had conned my way into that university. And I let that feeling lead all of the decisions I made for the first year and a half of my being there. In making some of these garden videos, I know to a degree, like the things I say, I know. I'm still very new to this and learning a lot. But there are some times when I'm thinking, why am I even making these videos? Why am I even making these videos? No one wants to see someone in their mid-20s learn how to garden. learn how to do new things. But then I remember that that is part of the reason that I am gardening and that I'm wanting to learn so many new things, is because I got to see people at the beginning or the middle of their adventure, see their struggles and see the things that they learned and see the mistakes and see how they were able to go, here I am, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're gonna figure it out together. I hope that somewhere out there, maybe one person will see me figure something out or see me in the process of figuring something out and go, you know what? That makes me feel better about struggling with something. My hope is that in showing the imperfection and in showing part of my, my ignorance and my willingness to learn and my desire to learn, that it fuels other people's desire to learn. And that is ambitious. That feels very full of myself to say, but it is a very earnest hope. Life is a disaster. It feels like it. I would say 80 to 90% of the time it feels like everything is on fire. All you have to do, or all you're capable of doing, is putting out whatever the biggest fire is that day. And I've mentioned that a couple of times where, like, this is my fire I'm putting out today, because that's what it feels like. Like everything is on fire, but that's burning the brightest, so I'm gonna put that fire out today. Everyone at some point in their life, some of us a little more than others, feels like we are pushing a boulder, like Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a hill, and we take one step forward and the boulder tries to roll back on us and run over us, and then we're rolling down the hill Indiana Jones style and we splat at the bottom. But the reality of it is, every day that you do just one thing, every day that you get out of bed, and every day that you manage to do just one thing, that boulder gets a little smaller and a little bit easier to push. And you and I both have people helping us, people that want to help us push that boulder, people carving out chunks of that boulder to make it a little easier and make it a little lighter. This has been a bit rambly, but I will leave you with this. You are beautifully and wonderfully created. You are not falling behind. Look at me, look at me. You are not falling behind. You are not an imposter, you are not a fraud. And no matter how big that boulder is, just one thing will make it a little lighter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.